The House Intelligence Committee will send a Democratic response to the Nunes Memo to the White House. The committee voted unanimously tonight. President Trump will now have 5 days to decide if he will block the release. Democrats say this document will add context and detail to the FBI and Justice Department's actions. Meanwhile, President Trump believes last Friday's memo totally vindicates him in what he calls the Russian witch hunt. The president called Russiagate an American disgrace and said the memo shows once and for all there was no collusion or obstruction. The president also took to Twitter to call out little Adam Schiff, the congressman, for his attempts to stonewall releasing the FISA court memo. For more on this, we're joined tonight by presidential historian and conservative commentator Doug Wead. Doug, nice to have you with us tonight. All right, the memo that was released at the end of last week does show that this dossier was used to get warrants. How troubling is that?
Well, it's troubling. I mean, do you want Donald Trump to be able to use his money and money from the Republican Party to hire opposition research for the next Democrat candidate for president, and then use his friends in the FBI and the Justice Department to take that manufactured evidence to a FISA court and then use that to spy on his political opposition? Of course not. This has got to end. Well, so whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, it's Watergate. It's bugging the phones and listening into them.
Well, as a journalist, I'd have to point out the argument that was made back during the Bush years by Wisconsin Senator Russ Feingold, who was very concerned about the Fourth Amendment and where this was all going to end up. Are the Democrats now supporting the use of political material to get a FISA warrant? Isn't that the fair question?
Yeah, it's absolutely the question. We don't even know about the judge yet, but we can see that there are FBI agents who are compromised. And think of this, Ed. What if Hillary Clinton had won? If I'm a deputy director of the FBI, my wife received $700,000 from the Clinton campaign to run for state legislature, and I signaled to my friends she's innocent before I even interviewed her, I would expect a promotion. My job is clear. There's all those people in the FBI and Justice Department. We wouldn't have known about any of this if Hillary Clinton had won. It would have been covered up.
There's a story now that the Clinton team fed Christopher Steele, who put together the dossier. The Clinton team actually fed him information. Was the FISA court duped?
Yeah, obviously.
So what's the ramification of that?
Well, if we don't do something, there are some Democrats with integrity who are Americans before they're partisans. Ron Wyden comes to mind from Oregon. There are others. But there needs to be some good Democrats and good Republicans who can get alone together and talk about what does this mean for the United States and in this jockeying for power.
Steele was shopping the story to the media. Where does that bring us?
Well, he was wanting additional sources. So a good editor says, do you have another source? They want 2 or 3 sources. Steele was all of the sources so that the FBI goes to FISA and they've got this source, this source, this source, but they're all really one person who has already said to his friends and made it clear he doesn't like Trump. He does like Clinton. He'll do whatever he has to help her get elected.
The president today and has said since the release of this memo that this exonerates him. No collusion, no connection. In fact, he's gone so far as to say that, this is Russiagate, it's a disgrace. Will he release the Democratic memo now that it's in the hands of the White House, or will he hold it back? What do you think he'll do?
I think he'll do it, but I don't know if he's going to do it right away. The other thing I don't know is if the Democrats have purposely seeded this memo with things that would hurt the Justice Department to force the president to say no, to keep it from being released. I don't know.
Do you think there's been enough conversation about possible Obama administration involvement in all of this?
Very much so. Well, the answer to the question is no. We don't lay a glove on him. We honor President Obama. He's the first African-American elected president. We just keep our distance. We don't fault him for anything. Harry Truman had a little sign that said the buck stops here, but the buck never stopped at President Obama's desk, and we're going to not lay a glove on him in this too. But this is his responsibility. This spying took place on his watch. This corruption of the Justice Department is his Justice Department.
Doug Wead, good to have you with us tonight.
Thanks,
Thanks so much.